Good afternoon. Good afternoon. How are y'all doing on this? Y'all be making a bitch feel so happy. I don't know. They cut off my live probably because I was talking about marijuana. Good afternoon. Happy Friday to you. How are you doing today? Hello. Look, let's start this off. My name is Zoe. My pronouns are she, they, but you can call me he, she, it. I don't give a shit just as long as you call a bitch back. I've been identifying as realistic things as of late. So as Republicans would call me, next. As college kids would refer to me as an experiment. Your father would probably call me an affair. My mother calls me her favorite. It doesn't matter, just as long as you call a bitch back. If you like what I'm saying, tap that screen and shoot a like. Shit. Follow me on things. Sluts on Stilts is my Instagram. That was my name in Bible camp. Let's get into this. How are y'all today? How are y'all doing? How are y'all doing today? I haven't been on live during regular hours in a while. And I figured that I would come on here and drop some things off for you. It came to me in the shower, so I figured I would tell y'all exactly fresh what just hit me in the shower. Listen, how am I doing? Chipper. Let me tell you, because I don't want to keep y'all for long, because I am going to share this on YouTube. I got a call the other night from a friend of mine. Not really a friend, but I can't really say who because I do not want to divulge his business. A friend of mine texted me the other night and said that he was considering self-harm and that he needed help. Oh, trigger warning. Self-harm. Mentioning self-harm. I'm not talking about the act itself, just mentioning self-harm. He said that he was considering self-harm and that he needed my help. So, of course, I perked alert. My ears went up. I said, what's going on, right? He texts me and he says, I just can't get it. I'm having problems with my girlfriend. I'm having problems with my job. I just can't seem to win. Like every time I get 2 steps forward, I get knocked 12 steps back. I don't know what to do. So I'm talking to him and I give him the initial shit. Okay? And I said, let me just skip the bullshit. Let me just talk to you as Zoe and you. Just you and I having this conversation. And the entire universe is just you and I having this conversation. He said, what do you do to keep yourself going? What's your secret? I said, I will tell you what keeps me going. I'll tell you what keeps me pushing when optimism, optimistic nihilism, manifestation, prayer, supplication, Zoloft, psychiatry, psychology, all the shit. Your birth chart looks fucked up. Your horoscope for the next 4 years don't look right. I'm talking about what keeps a bitch going. What stays in the back of my mind. And trauma survivors, childhood trauma survivors, any type, understand what I'm about to say. I hope you do. I hope you get this. Sometimes what wakes you up in the morning is being better than your abuser. Sometimes what gets you up in the morning is being better than that piece of shit who thought that they had killed you at the bottom of those stairs. Sometimes getting you up in the morning is being better than your shitty mother. Sometimes getting you up in the morning is showing up for your children in the way that your mother didn't show up for you. Sometimes what gets you up in the morning is not love, hun. It's not the promise of a better opportunity. Sometimes getting up in the morning is not that promotion. Sometimes getting up in the morning is not your partner. Sometimes getting up in the morning is not your dog. Sometimes getting up in the morning is not that favorite hobby. Sometimes it's not that. Sometimes it's spite. Sometimes spite has to get you up in the morning. Sometimes your getting up in the morning has to be intangible. Because if you attach your getting up in the morning to a person, what happens when that person leaves you? I did this for my family. Well, what happens, God forbid, when your family passes and it's just you? You attach it to a relationship. Now look, the relationship's gone. And you're trying to find the will to live. He said, how do you do it? It's okay. Now, my best friend loaned me money, right? And I said to her, this is a loan, hon. It can't be a gift. This is a loan. She said, Now, my abusers have a problem with money. They don't have any. They have a problem with their integrity. They don't pay nobody back. They've left nobody anything. They've taken without returning. Stolen even. Sometimes my getting up in the morning is because my integrity told her I'm going to pay you back. Why? Because my abusers are liars. Spite woke me up this morning. Now, you don't have to agree with what I just said, but I bet you that this will work for you. I'll give you an example. I've been watching 48 Hours on A&E for the past few days. Y'all know I love true crime. I was watching this documentary on this very awful abuse. I mean, awful abuse. You hear me? And the survivors of this abuse were telling their stories. And like 11 out of 12 of these people said, I forgave my oppressors. I forgave my abusers, this horrific, I forgave them. And out of all of them, 11 of them are pretty worse off than what they were before. But there's a holdout. I'm gonna call her Carrie. Now, Carrie's a holdout. Now, Carrie has 3 kids. Her kids are doctors and things. She survived this abuse. And when asked at the end during her interview, Carrie, how do you keep going? She said, my children, I put these things in my children. She said, and knowing that he will be in jail, that he did not get the death penalty, that he will live for the rest of his life, knowing what he did to me, I get to go out and smell the air as he spends 23 of 24 hours in solitary confinement. I get to raise these children. I get to see them do graduations, and none of his children even speak to him. They don't even know his name. She said, I don't forgive him. Spite did this. Spite. Sometimes you have to live the life that they told you you couldn't live. Sometimes it's just spite. I didn't take my life out of spite for my traumatizer. I chose to live well. The best revenge you can have against your abuser, your traumatizer, is being better than them. Trust me. I'm not an advocate for forgiveness. I think that forgiveness belongs to one person, and it belongs to yourself. Whoever you choose to divvy out your forgiveness to is based on your subjective healing. If your healing requires you to forgive your grandmother punching you between the washer and dryer in order for you to get your next step, good for you. But I'm not telling Carrie that. Because Carrie's kind to people. Carrie goes to therapy. Carrie takes her meds. Carrie's a great mother. Carrie's a great partner. She does not forgive her abuser. Spite did this for her. Every time, for me, it doesn't work all the time, but every time that you can't get up in the morning out of bed, like, I don't want to do this shit today. I don't feel like doing this shit today. I want you to think of where your abuser is right now. Probably not doing shit. If they not doing shit, get your ass out of bed. Do some shit. I would just think, if my abuser is doing something great, I'm about to do something greater. Honey, sometimes it may be forgiveness and a little bit of spite. Sometimes it may be a lot of spite and a lot of self-forgiveness. Your healing is subjective, hon. Thank you, spite. I said this a long time ago. If y'all are in therapy and y'all feel like y'all keep hitting a wall, you need to ask your therapist, is the root of this getting me to forgive myself or to forgive my oppressor? Because if this therapy is not getting me anywhere, it's probably because you're getting me to get to a place where I should forgive my traumatizer. And I don't think my healing requires that of me. Now, if your healing requires it of you, I think you should find another client. I don't care what your school of faith teaches you. I'm not telling these kids to forgive Father Porter. Nope. I'm telling them to forgive themselves and be better than Father Porter. I'm not telling my daughter that if she gets beat up by a man, that she has to forgive him because they're married and they took oaths before God. No. I'm taking her with me. I'm going to tell her to forgive herself. And then we're going to get her divorced and get him in jail. Lost some views. I don't care. I'm not telling them to forgive family because family is family. You break bread with them. We're going to go up to Ponderosa Steakhouse and have ourselves a good time. If you think that my purpose on this planet will be to spend all of my life trying to forgive people who have abused me, I would die in therapy. Honey, forgiveness belongs to me. To me. That's it. You've been out here giving out forgiveness for all these people laying in bed with self-guilt. You've been divvying out all this forgiveness because you saw some fucking TikTok video that told you that you have to forgive them in order to get free. Okay, not this TikTok video. Not this one. Shit. Pray about it. Not me. You better learn to forgive yourself, hon. Forgive yourself. Spend your whole life trying to forgive all these people. Then you get here at 78, got dementia, don't even know what the hell to do with forgiveness for yourself. Now you're standing here, all these forgiven folks, and you're still unhealed. That's just me. Did I let go of all of my trauma? Did I let go of my trauma? Give me a minute. Child, these allergies ain't nothing to play with around here. Did I let go of my trauma? I made a video last year, like 2 weeks, I was talking about this, called Accepting It and Letting It Go. I took what I needed from my trauma, and I let that shit go. If it doesn't serve me, what is it doing here? I have severe PTSD, and I deal with chronic flashbacks a lot. And I used to think that healing was not having the flashback. I thought that me being healed was not having the flashback. I thought that me being healed wasn't going to therapy. I thought that healing was not having anxiety. No. For me and my PTSD, okay, for me it's about knocking power out of these flashbacks. If I can't undo the flashbacks of PTSD, I'll be damned if it's going to keep having the same effect on a bitch. An example, I have chronic flashbacks of abuse, some pretty traumatic abuse. And these flashbacks would like knock the wind out of my sails. Like I would vomit, I'd dissociate. I have decided that every time that shit comes, I'm going to be ready for it. Every time. It's like a lion with no teeth. It's like a lion trying to roar, but it's just meowing. You don't have any power here anymore over me. I call it the reclamation of space. I had to reclaim some space inside of my mind from trauma. If you're going to be here, you're going to pay me what you owe me in dividends. If my trauma is going to be here, you're going to pay me in dividends. That means I'm going to use this trauma to be a track star. You're going to pay me in dividends. Because until I get everything out of you, that must be the reason why you're still here. You're just a lion with no teeth. So I'm about to have the most grit. I'm about to be the wittiest. I'm about to be the funniest. I'm about to take this I'm about to get a degree with it. Now, there may be days that I feel like shit, and maybe I want to eat a pizza about it. Eat the fucking pizza. Do everything in moderation. And then after a while, it feels like nothing. Sometimes I feel like when I tell my story, it's somebody else's. Sometimes when I tell my story, it feels like somebody else's. Trauma doesn't go away. We get over it. And what I mean by we get over it, I mean like a mountain. All right? Here's what I mean. Trauma is a mountain. And we're on this journey of life. Now, think about Mount Everest real quick. Think about it. The largest mountain in the world, right? 26,000 feet. Think about that. Now, I want you to drive toward it. Drive toward it. I want you to picture yourself standing at the base of Mount Everest. Think about it. Have you thought about it? It's scary, isn't it? Now, get back in your car and drive 100 feet away from it. Now I want you to drive a mile away from Mount Everest. How big is it? I want you to drive 2 miles away from it. Now I want you to get on a plane and I want you to fly back to your house. Where is Mount Everest? Can you see it from your house? When you get to a mountain, whether you speak to it as an affirmation and it throws itself into the ocean, whether you climb that mountain, take a picture at the top, because you're going to face bigger ones. Or a bulldozer, and you turn it into dust. I want you to think about that. Mountains only seem big when you're facing them, but you just have to keep going. So figure it out. Am I going to drive around the mountain? Am I going to cross it? In Pennsylvania, we drive through mountains. We've had bridges through mountains. We have tunnels. You're going to drive through the mountain? Are you going to keep going? Is spite in your gas tank today? Is hope in your gas tank today? Is forgiveness for self in your gas tank today? Either way, hon, figure it out. Because you have things to do for you on your time. When is your time supposed to start? I'm getting off of here. But I love you. And if you needed this, I hope you can use it. If you didn't, thank you for sticking around. I appreciate it. Thank you for inviting me into your space. I leave you with something. My therapist told me this about a year ago. And he said, we look at emotions as inherently bad or good. We look at guilt as a bad thing. We look at sadness as a bad thing. What do those things motivate you to do? And I thought about this for a while. He said, it's really how you respond to emotions that, I guess, posits a good or a bad reaction. How do you react to guilt? What does guilt make you do? Sometimes guilt can turn you into a bad person. What do you do with your sadness? Sometimes sadness can make you a bad person. Hell, sometimes your happiness can make you. It's what you do with those things. What's your motivator? Sometimes those motivators cannot be seen. Sometimes they have to be internal, and your purpose for going has to belong to you and to you alone. Because if not, your purpose for life will go fleeting with other people, and that's not the purpose. I should hope that you don't think that your purpose, that your life here is to just be here forgiving folks or be here looking for somebody else's acceptance. What an awful life that would be. What a tragedy. One of the best things that I've learned in my own life is that we get to define our purpose. Define what we're here for, what these hands can do, what we want our mouths to do, what we want to leave and what we want to project. So if spite woke you up this morning and you're projecting joy, I see you. If spite woke you up this morning and all you did was brush your teeth and brush your hair, I see you. If spite got you an LLC and now you made a nonprofit, I see you. If spite woke you up this morning to be the best parent that you could be, I see you. If spite woke you up this morning and you wanted to give up last night, I see you. You're seen and you're loved. And that's it. That's the post.